Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 958 of Money Girl. I really appreciate you downloading the show. I'm Laura Adams, an award-winning author, on-camera spokesperson, money speaker, and founder of The Money Stack. That's my Substack newsletter. Subscribers automatically receive my Money Success Toolkit, which includes the exact templates I use to manage my finances. So I'd love for you to subscribe and check that out. You can learn more, send me your money questions, and sign up for The Money Stack at lauradadams.com. You can also leave a voice message with a question or comment by calling 302-364-0308. We love getting your questions, and if you send me a voice message, I'm pretty sure to feature it on Finance Friday, which is our weekly Q&A bonus edition of the show. Today, I'll be talking about medical debt, which is one of the biggest financial burdens in the United States. Approximately 40% of American households are grappling with some type of healthcare debt. According to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, at least $88 billion of outstanding medical bills are currently in collections. This podcast will review what to do if you can't pay a medical bill, how medical debt affects your credit, and strategies for managing healthcare debt wisely. So let's start out by just reviewing what's been going on with medical debt regulations. There have been numerous efforts to limit medical bills from appearing on credit reports. Historically, medical bills differ from other types of debt because of factors like the complexity and high cost of healthcare, confusing billing practices, patients being underinsured or uninsured, and a lack of price transparency for services. Plus, health challenges are unpredictable. Patients never choose to have medical debt. Now, a few years ago, the nation's largest credit reporting agencies, that includes Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, they decided to remove medical bills with an initial balance of $500 or less from their reports, along with old bills that were repaid. Typically, an unpaid bill remains on your credit report for 7 years, even after you pay it. So having a delinquent medical bill removed from your credit reports is a big deal. It's quite beneficial for your credit history and your credit scores. In addition, the time before an unpaid medical bill shows up on your credit report is longer than for other types of debt. The grace period was initially increased from several months to 6 months, and then extended to 1 year. So that gives you more time to deal with any errors on a bill, like getting a bill that should have been covered by health insurance or one that's got mistakes before it appears on your credit history. Another milestone occurred in January 2025, before the Biden administration left office. They attempted to ban credit agencies from including medical debt altogether on most consumer credit reports starting in March 2025. The idea is that due to many weaknesses in America's healthcare system, some experts believe that medical debt has very little to do with predicting your credit worthiness and just shouldn't be a factor in credit scoring models. In fact, some creditors, such as Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, choose not to include medical debt in their mortgage loan underwriting process. But after Biden, proposed this, after the Trump administration took office in January 2025, it placed Biden's medical debt protections on hold. Additionally, the Trump administration has frozen all activities of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which has been working to safeguard consumers from the negative consequences of medical debt. So to sum up, we've seen a little progress in helping consumers avoid the devastating financial challenges of medical debt, but not nearly enough, in my opinion. As I've mentioned, if you have an unpaid medical bill, it can appear on your credit reports 1 year after the date you originally became delinquent. And instead of remaining on your reports for up to 7 years, a past due medical bill that you pay off in full will just disappear entirely. All right, so if you've got medical debt or find yourself with a bill that you can't pay in the future, let's go through 7 do's and don'ts. Number 1, don't ignore it. Pretending a medical bill doesn't exist won't help your finances in the long run. If you don't pay a bill, the provider will likely send it to a collections agency, and they will report the delinquency to the credit bureaus. Additionally, collectors can be pretty aggressive in their contact attempts, and that can cause you even more stress than, you're likely already in. If you want to learn more about the regulations that debt collectors must follow and the statute of limitations on debt, don't miss an older podcast that I did on this topic. It's episode number 814 called How to Stay Safe from Zombie Debt. Number 2, do check for errors. When you receive a medical bill, always review it carefully for errors. Now, I know it can be challenging to understand a lengthy doctor bill or hospital bill, but make sure you receive a detailed, itemized statement that lists every single charge you're paying for. And if you don't understand something, or let's say you see duplicates, incorrect dates, or even services you didn't receive, call the provider's billing department and ask for clarification. If you disagree with charges on a medical bill or disagree with what your insurance covers, you have the right to an appeal with your health insurer. Number 3, do ask about financial assistance. Many providers will negotiate what you owe, especially if you don't have health insurance or you can pay a lump sum up front. Getting a 10% or 20% discount is a reasonable reduction when you're responsible for a big healthcare bill. Consider asking your provider what the Medicare reimbursement rate is for the services you receive. That's usually a provider's bottom line, and they may accept an amount slightly higher from uninsured or self-paying patients. Hospitals often have charity programs or will allow you to pay in installments with no interest over a period of at least 1 year. The sooner you contact a provider about a solution, the more favorably they may be able to treat you. And if you don't ask about discounts or longer repayment terms, you may never know what help is available. Number 4, do know your rights. There's a federal law called the No Surprises Act that protects individuals with health insurance from paying more for out-of-network providers in certain situations like emergencies. It ensures you only pay in-network cost sharing when you likely don't have an option to use an in-network provider. Plus, if you don't have health insurance, the law says you should receive a good faith estimate of costs and services. You're also entitled to a dispute resolution process if the bill significantly exceeds your estimate. Other avenues for filing complaints may include your state's attorney general and your state's insurance department. Number 5, don't pay on credit. While using a credit card, a medical credit card, or even a loan to eliminate a healthcare bill may seem wise, it's generally a bad idea. What's happening is you convert a debt with no interest and a limited impact on your credit into a high-interest debt that can negatively affect your credit and financial health for years to come. Consumers have more rights with medical debt, is what I'm saying, and creditors are more likely to give you the benefit of the doubt than with credit card debt. Plus, once you pay a medical bill with a credit card or loan, you lose all power to negotiate it with your provider. So, as tempting as it may be just to charge it to a credit card, don't do it. Try to find other solutions. Number 6, do prioritize your debts. If you have multiple debts, your best plan is to focus on paying them off in order of highest to lowest interest rate. In other words, if you receive a no-interest payment plan for a medical debt, there's no need to pay it off early or faster than other debts you have that likely charge high interest rates. And 7, do seek professional guidance. If you feel overwhelmed by your debt, consider seeking help from a nonprofit credit counseling agency or a patient advocate to help you understand your options and negotiate on your behalf. Don't miss my most recent podcast on this topic. It's called Conquer Debt: How Nonprofit Credit Counseling Works. And another thing I want to mention is about using a health savings account, or HSA. If you have a qualified high-deductible health plan, you're eligible to contribute to an HSA. It's a tax-advantaged medical savings account that allows you to pay a wide range of qualified healthcare expenses, like medical, dental, vision, and hearing care, entirely tax-free. Now, while having money in an HSA doesn't make a medical debt disappear, it certainly reduces the cost. Depending on your income and your average tax rate, paying for qualified healthcare expenses using tax-free HSA funds could equate to a discount of 20%, 25%, or more. Your original HSA contributions and earnings in the account are tax-free when you withdraw them for a wide range of IRS-approved healthcare expenses, whether your insurer covers them or not. However, be aware that if you use an HSA for non-qualified expenses, you must pay income taxes plus a pretty hefty 20% penalty on withdrawn amounts. For 2025, you can contribute up to $4,300 to an HSA if you've got individual health coverage, or up to $8,550 with a family health plan. And if you're over 55, you can contribute an additional $1,000 in a catch-up contribution. And for 2026, the HSA contribution limits will increase slightly. You can make tax-deductible HSA contributions anytime during the year, even up to April 15 for the previous tax year. If you're eligible for an HSA, funding it as aggressively as possible is an excellent way to prepare for an unexpected medical bill and hopefully reduce the stress of any healthcare challenges. That's all for now. I'll talk to you soon. Until then, here's to living a richer life. Money Girl is a quick and dirty tips podcast, and I want to thank our amazing team that works on the show. Steve Rickeberg audio engineers the podcast. Holly Hutchins is our director of podcast. Morgan Christensen is our advertising and operations specialist. Rebecca Sebastian is our marketing and publicity manager. And Nathaniel Hoops is our marketing contractor.